Hey guys, it's Star Player here with another episode of my Autodesk 2012 tutorial series. And in this episode, I'm going to show you guys how to make a depth gauge. So a depth gauge, it's an assembly, so it will consist of a base, a handle, a depth rod, and a knurled screw. So I'll start off with the base. So I'll go and make a line from the origin, 3 inches, go up 0.25 inches, do the same for the other side, and now I'll make a line up from the midpoint, 1 inch, and I'll make a line horizontally 0.375 inches this way, and I'll make another one same dimension in the opposite direction. And now I'll connect these 2 points, do the same with the other side. And I'll extrude this, select both of my profiles here, and extrude it 0.625 inches. Now I'll make a sketch on the top plane for a hole, and the sketch will be just 2 lines, 0.375 down from the midpoint and 0.375 across from the midpoint, and where they meet is, I'll just trim this line here. Finish the sketch, make a hole. Here it'll be a counterbore hole. So select counterbore here, it'll be 0.375, and here it'll be 0.44 down, and then I'll have 0.1207 on my through hole diameter. I'll select this point right here, hit OK, and as you can see, you have a counterbore hole right here. And now we're going to make another sketch on this front face right here for another hole. So for this hole, we'll go from the left side over 1.5 inches and go up 0.375 inches. Finish our sketch, make another hole. This one will be a through hole, or sorry, not a through hole, a drilled hole, and it'll have a distance right here. I'll just click on this point. It'll be 0.5 on our distance and 0.25 on the diameter, and our drill point will be flat. Hit OK, and now we'll want a thread on the hole right here. So you'd click on the thread button under the modify tab. For location, we'll select this hole right here, and under specification, we'll select 0.25 as a size since it's a 1/4 inch diameter hole. Class 2B hole, and this one will be a 1/4 24 UNS. And right hand is fine with this. Hit apply, and now you have your base completed. So now we'll go and make another part. We'll start with our depth rod. So for depth rod, you would make a circle that is 0.125 inches in diameter and extrude it 4 inches. And I'll just make the view a bit more realistic. So I'll set this as my top view, and I'll set this as my home view, and select fit to view. So now that's our uh, depth gauge, and we'll create our next part, which will be our handle. So to start off, on our handle, we'll make a circle that is 1/2 inch in diameter. Finish the sketch and extrude it 2 inches. And I'll make the view, set this as the top view, since that's what I would want in my assembly. It'd make it a lot easier to draw. And I'll set this as my home view right now. So next for our handle, we'll pivot. We'll go over the cube. You can drag it down, create a 2D sketch on the bottom part of this part, and you'll make another circle that is 0.375 inches in diameter. Finish the sketch there, and extrude that and you'd select your circle right here, do that to 0.375 inches. So now we'll have a hole on the top face, so create a 2D sketch on the top. We have our point right here. That will be the center point for our hole. Select the point right there. And the diameter of this hole, it's a drilled hole through all. It'll be 0.125 inches. And now we'll chamfer the edge right here. Chamfer this edge. And under distance, we'll select 0.03 inches. And now for this part, we'll want a knurled finish. So for that, we'll just select a material that we'd want. I'll just have a black chrome finish for my part. And now select the face that I want, which would be this face right here. Right click on it, press properties, and under face color style, you'd scroll all the way down until you see metal steel knurled right here. Click on that and press OK. You now have a knurled finish on your part. And now we've completed a handle. So now for our next part, we'll create the screw, the knurled screw. And for that, we'll have a circle to start off with. It'd be a 1/2 inch diameter circle. Finish the sketch and extrude it 1/4 of an inch. And now we'll want to go over to this side right here, create another sketch, make a circle on the origin that is 1/4 of an inch in diameter. Finish the sketch hit extrude, click on the smaller circle, and you'll extrude it 1 inch. Or sorry, not 1 inch, I'll edit that real quick. Should actually be half an inch. Right there. And now we'll also want to chamfer an edge right here, or this face, and under distance we'll select 0.03 inches, and we'll also want to put a thread on this screw right here. So you could select that this smaller area right here. You'll uncheck the full length box. I'll go over here to make it a bit easier for me to tell whether or how I'm doing on this. And for length, I'll select 0.375 inches. And under specification, I'll have a 2A class 1/4 24 UNS thread. I'll hit apply, and I have my screw almost done. I'll select another material right here, since I need to have a knurled finish on this screw. So I'll select a blue chrome, and now I'll select this face right here, right click it, and go to properties, click on that, and scroll down till I find metal steel knurled. Hit OK. Now I have my knurled screw, and I'll just put some color on these parts too. I'll have this be a gold metallic, my base, and I'll have my depth rod be a polished aluminum. And I'll go ahead and save my parts. So I'll go under the file menu, save as, or go under save, save all, and then I'd go ahead and save my parts. So now we'll go ahead and make a new assembly. So under the drop down menu on new, you can select assembly. And we'll go ahead and start creating the assembly, the full depth gauge assembly. So you'll hit place, select all of these parts, right click, hit done. So most of these parts need to be rotated. I'll just start with the one that doesn't and start mating that. So I'll constrain the constraint. I'll constrain it when constrain the inner circle. You'll know when, because there's a center line in there. So I'll constrain the inner circle to the inner circle. Hit apply. I'll back out of that so that I can see the rest of the screw. And now I'll go over to the right side view, constrain this part of the circle right here to right here, and I'll have an offset of 0.125, or not an offset of 0.125 actually. I'll just constrain it again here. Don't put an offset on it. And now I'll go to the handle, right click, rotate component, rotate it till it's approximately good, and I'll start doing the same kind of constraints that I did with the knurled screw. So constrain 2 inner circles, and now I'll drag this up a bit so that I can constrain this circle right here to this one. And now I'll rotate the depth rod, and I'll constrain that inner circle to the inner circle right here. And now I'll go to my View tab, and under Visual Style, I'll select Wireframe, and from there I'll drag up so that it's not hitting, so that my depth gauge is not hitting the screw. This looks like it should be fine right here. Go back to my Visual Style and select Shaded, and go back to my home view. I'll save this part, or this assembly rather, because I'm going to make a presentation out of it. And to do that, you'll go to New, and under drop down menu select Presentation. You'll select Create View, select your assembly, and under Explosion Method select Manual if it's not already selected, and hit OK. And if you may want to zoom out so that all of your parts are visible. And now you'd want to select Tweak Components. So I'll select my knurled screw, so I'd select Tweak Components, select my knurled screw, drag it out, and I'll drag, hit close, select Tweak Components again, drag this up, and out, hit close. I'll go back to my home view, hit Tweak Components again, and I'll drag this. You'd have to select the right face, so you drag it up, and now I'll have a transformation on the X direction to the right. I'll hit close, go back to my home view, and now you can select animate. I'll drag this over so that you guys can see the presentation. Hit play forward, and as you can see, it's all going into place. The depth rod is now coming in. And right here, if I play this again, you'll see that I made a tiny mistake when I was putting in my depth rod, because it goes straight through the handle. So I'll go ahead and change that, and for my depth rod, I'll just drag it further up. And now I'll animate from there. So I've restarted my, partially restarted my animation, my presentation. So I'll click on this, drag it up, and then click on this part right here, drag it up also, and now I'll have a transformation on, and yeah, I'll drag this, specifically drag this one up more, drag my depth rod up, and have a y-axis movement, and I'll shorten the distance right here, and now I'll start my animation again, and as you can see, it goes right into place, and there's your final depth gauge assembly. And hope you guys had a good time with this video, and see you again next time.